Hello and welcome back to Uplifted Beauty. We are talking about more makeup today. So if you are in for some juicy details on luxe beauty for less, and I'm talking all less than $10, keep watching. So I was inspired to do this video from a recent trip to Ulta, and I had on my list just like a few things that I always repurchase and that I always keep backstock of. And a few of these products I've actually been using for years and have purchased like multiple times. So know when I say they're good, they are so good. So being in the beauty industry for the last 2 decades, I have learned so much. I've worked as a freelance makeup artist. I've opened and managed a Sephora store. I've worked for a very well-known mineral makeup company. I've had many different positions in the field of cosmetics. Kind of learn besides all the behind the scenes tips and tricks and hacks and all those fun things, you also just learn in general a lot about the industry. And some of the products that I'm going to be talking about today are made by companies that are actually owned by larger companies. So just a couple to mention would be Estee Lauder companies and L'Oreal. And I actually looked up just how many companies are owned by those two companies because I knew it was a lot and I used to be able to know what they all were. But just for example, Estee Lauder owns Aramis, Clinique, Lab Series, Origins, Tommy Hilfiger, MAC Cosmetics, La Mer, Bobbi Brown, DKNY, Aveda, Jo Malone London, Bumble and Bumble, Michael Kors, Tom Ford Beauty, Smashbox, Le Labo, let's see, a couple more, Too Faced, Dr. Jart, Kilian Paris, Glam Glow, and also, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, DCM, which is all of the Ordinary products. So this is Estee Lauder owns all these products. So when I talk about getting like luxe beauty products for less, a lot of these companies are making, let's say it's a $30 concealer from Too Faced. Well, they can also maybe use that formula or some spin-off of that formula, maybe in a less expensive version, and create a whole other product for much less money. Also, one thing about luxe skincare brands and like prestige cosmetic companies is a lot of what you're paying for is the packaging. So like I have a few examples here. Like I have this beautiful Chanel eyeshadow, gorgeous glass logo on the front. Same thing with this Dior highlighter. And these lipsticks, I've got a Bobbi Brown lipstick and a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, which I love both. But these are like gorgeous. These are pieces that like you wouldn't mind sitting out like on a side table with a book and like, you know, little decor pieces and a candle. Like they're so just beautiful and luxurious. So a lot of times that is what you're paying for with prestige cosmetics. Now don't get me wrong, a lot of times the formulas are very unique and they maybe contain certain ingredients that are better high end. That's not always the case. And I'd say it's actually rarely the case because I am an ingredient junkie. I'm always reading ingredients for anything that I buy. And you'll notice very similar ingredients from a $30 concealer down to a $8 concealer, all owned by the same company. So just kind of interesting little fun facts there. That was Estee Lauder I mentioned earlier. L'Oreal is another huge company that owns they own 36 other companies. I'm just going to name a few that are pretty well known. Cils, Lancome, Armani Beauty, YSL, Maybelline, Clarisonic, Ralph Lauren, Kerastase, It Cosmetics, Prada Beauty, Biotherm, Shuimura, Urban Decay, Vichy, Redken, Garnier, L'Oreal Paris, and more. So L'Oreal owns a ton of companies too. And so some of these products are inspired by other brands, and I'll try to kind of mention that as I go through so that maybe if you've been using the higher end brand, you can save a little money and try the drugstore version. So right off the top, I'm going to start out with this Physicians Formula. And this one, I will say, of all these that I have today, which I think I have like 7 or 8, this Physicians Formula one is a little trickier to find. You guys know I'll always link all these products for you, but you would have a hard time finding this at Ulta. I don't even think Ulta carries Physicians Formula anymore. This is a liquid eyeliner, and what I really love about it is that it's a brush tip applicator. So it's really precise, and it's very, very easy to use. So it basically lets you create these like really either fine or thicker lines with this super like precise tip. And I like it because it's not a felt tip, it's a brush tip. And the cool thing about this product is it also has lash boosting ingredients in it. So anytime I can get like some skincare ingredients or just like extra added features in a product, I always go for that. And I've been using this Physicians Formula liner for, I mean, I'd say at least like 8+ years. I've got them in a couple different shades of black and then a couple different shades of brown as well. Next up, I have my very beloved Maybelline Full and Soft Mascara. Now this product does not get talked about a lot, which I'm kind of surprised, but it's always carried at Ulta. So you know if it's carried there, it's being sold. So at least I know people are still buying it, because I hate when things get discontinued and you love them and then you have a hard time finding them. But this one is pretty easy to find, and it's, I wanna say it's like less than $8. And it has like more of a traditional style brush on it. And the formula has like just enough like slip to it. It's not too dry, not too wet. I absolutely love this mascara. It also stays in place really well. Now, I like to layer this. I don't have it with me right now, but I use the Lancome Lash Primer first, and then I'll use this on the top. And then on the bottom, I actually prefer a Kevyn Aucoin Volume Mascara. I just like it because it literally, there's no transfer at all. I tend to still kind of have oily skin, and back in my days when I was working as an esthetician and like I would be around steam, maybe I would even have glasses on because I was working with the laser, I never had any problems with like transfer or smearing or anything like that. But I love this for the top lashes, and then that Kevyn Aucoin for the bottom. Now, I'm taking a break from my lash extensions, and I've been using the Grande Lash Serum, and I've also been using like a vitamin E castor oil mix, and I've also been using Latisse. I alternate nights. So I've been reaching for mascara a lot more, and this is just one that I always have and love. And I don't really get around much with my mascara because there's so many that have disappointed me that I just, quite honestly, I just don't waste my money on them. But this one is a winner. Next up, I have this Loreal Brow Stylist Definer. And I think this is absolutely inspired by the Anastasia, I think it's called Brow Wiz. You've got a super fine pencil, like really, really tiny, very skinny, and it's retractable. And then on the other end, you have a spoolie, which is super convenient for you to just like buff out any lines that maybe you don't want to be so defined. Or I think these kind of work as like a little magic eraser too. You can really clean up your brows if you got outside of where you wanted to be. But I love them because you can go in and create just those tiny little like strokes, those little like wispy hairs essentially is what you're kind of mimicking when you do your brows. So I love this brow definer. I've bought dozens of these. I don't even know how many I've bought of these. And the shade that I use now is Brunette. I've used dark brunette in the past, and although I do have dark hair and dark brows, I like the tone of this brunette. It's really pretty. And another tip that I have actually, when you go to find your shade for your brows, always go just a little bit lighter than your natural brow color. It just creates more of a softer, like multi-dimensional look versus being like so heavy and all the same colors. There's so many shades in this and they're all great. I've recommended this product to so many people and everybody loves it. So L'Oreal Brow Stylist. Next up, I have a concealer, and I almost actually had forgotten about this concealer, but I was getting a little bit low on my Chanel Corrector, which lasts me like, I don't know, a year or two. And I was like, what is at the drugstore that I haven't used in a while? And I came back to this Maybelline, and it's a really long name, Instant Age Rewind Eraser. It's a corrector and multi-use concealer. I love this stuff. It is very pigmented, but at the same time, it is buildable. So you can do just like a really nice light sheer application with this, or you can actually build it up and get more coverage. And it also has this like little sponge tip applicator. I just kind of dab it on where I need to go with it, and I'll blend it out from there. But this product is really, really good. I actually will replace using my Tarte Shape Tape and my Chanel Corrector. I usually layer those two, and then I just replace both of those with just this one. And the reason why is because the coverage is so good. Like the pigment in it is really great for covering, but there's also like, if you get the right shade, you really get a lot of correcting out of it. Now I've chosen one that's got a little bit of a yellow tone and it's fairly light, because most of the places I use this is just for like under the eyes, down my nose, a little bit here, and then just kind of between my eyebrows a little bit. The shade that I got is 100. I'm wearing it today, and I've also put like a really light powder over it to set it. And this one's really nice. There's no creasing with it. It's not dry. It's not too hydrating. It's like pretty perfect, honestly. So that's the Maybelline concealer. Next up is a brush. Now I know like brushes aren't very sexy to talk about or whatever, but this is one that I've had forever, and I have a ton of brushes, and I always keep this one in my rotation. It's just a really nice size, and it's synthetic bristles, so you can do a lot of different things with it, but it's really, really tiny. I mean, if you can see like the size of my nail versus the size of this brush. This currently I'm using for highlight, so I just like how you can just like dab and blend really lightly with this. Or another really great way to use it is like under the eyes. If you want to set your concealer with this, kind of just like pat and then just kind of blend it out. But you can do so much with this. I mean, it's a little bit too big for like the eye area, but for like that precise work, it's a really great brush. And this is by Real Techniques. And I'm not sure if this brush is sold individual, but I will link whatever I can that this is in. I actually love all Real Techniques brushes. I think they're very, very nice, and that they are luxe for less for sure. Like if this was an IT Cosmetics brush or a MAC brush, I mean, this would be a $30 brush, and this is probably like $7 or $8 on its own, or in a kit, you know, which is still very affordable. The last two things I have are lip liners, and they are by NYX or NYX. I don't know really how people say it. I usually say NYX. And there's two styles that I like. And I also want to mention one that I don't care for. Let's just get the one that I don't care for out of the way, just so there's no confusion. The lip liner that they have that's like all the same color, it's a pencil that you need to sharpen, but I'm just not a fan of it. For whatever reason, the ones that I have always kind of like separate and wobble around within like the like shaft of the pencil or whatever. I'm just not a fan of this style. So don't get the ones that are all the same color. The ones that you want are either the retractable lip liner, which is all one color, but it's retractable. That other one was a pencil. This one's really nice. And then also just their kind of regular, these are like their least expensive ones. I think they're like $5. This one's called Suede Matte Lip Liner. I don't know if they're all called that in this black packaging, but it's a pencil and it's sharpenable. And I love this. I've been using these for years. I have so many of these. My favorite one is in shade Cans, and it's SMLL31. It's kind of like a pinky mauve, and I use it the most because it's just like a bump up from my natural lip color. So if I'm just doing like more of a natural lip, I will line my lips with this. I'll kind of go up a little bit outside my natural lip line, and it's just really pretty and natural. And it's got like a pink, kind of a pinkish nude tone to it. Love these as well. So these are my Luxe finds for less. These are ones I've been using forever. Let me know if you guys have some Luxe finds that you get from the drugstore or from Ulta that you love, and let me know what they are, because I will always research and want to try products that other people recommend. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.